Hi, I'm Mike Pantry. I was in SSAGO from 1994 to 98 at University of Surrey, which was Guides and Scouts of University of Surrey, GASUS. So when I started in 94, that really was at the point the internet was just starting to take off. So academically, the universities had access to the internet. I think the year above me was the first year that had email, and so we did make use of the email, particularly when it first came in, but at that time we really weren't doing websites. Most of the things I remember, most of the admin was still fairly paper based. The weekly meetings were advertised by putting paper flyers in people's pigeonholes. Although we would then also email, but people weren't regularly using it. You had to go into the computing lab to go and get on the particular machine that you could get your email, so you typically wouldn't check it for a few days. As we went through, that access became easier, and so we did start using it a bit more for communications. But there was obviously no social networking, nothing like that can be used for joining groups together. And certainly that was reflected in what was in the Scout County as one districts. They were all still using exactly the same sort of methods that we were. I guess we were at the very early stages of it, and we made use of it, but it was fairly limited. I also remember in 1996 we ran the rally in Surrey, and I was doing a lot of the admin for that, and that was very paper based. It was forms sent out to students' unions, getting people's money back in via cheques, and handling everything in a very paper based traditional way of doing it. I was involved with Surrey Scout About, sweatshirt I'm wearing today, and I think we put in the online bookings for that in 2005. So that I remember being fairly novel at the time. I say when I think of what we did in our SSAGO club, there's obviously the cliched one would be the friendship bit of it, but it is true. Still in very good contact with quite a few of the members of the club 20 years on. So unfortunately there's only two of us here this weekend, but still regularly see some of the others. It got me into scouting in a way that I probably wouldn't have done before. If I hadn't have been through SSAGO, I would have probably stuck with the sort of the group traditional scouting troop leader type role. But I actually, through SSAGO, got involved with helping out with district events and then county events and managing big events from that side. And those I wouldn't have done if I hadn't have planned a rally and been involved with the district. The negative sides are this: it was always a challenge to get people, to get members. And at the time I was there, a lot of that was down to the fact that people had been venture scouts, had come into university, they wanted to do something different. It's actually a positive in a lot of ways, in that they got introduced to many of the adventurous activities, canoeing and climbing and things like that, typically through scouting, and then came to uni and pursued that activity rather than pursuing the scouting side of it. But it meant that we knew of lots of people who had been scouts, but we didn't have as members, and much as we tried, that was always a challenge.